All right. Welcome back to another episode of Light Skin. Episode 28. We're pushing 30, just about there, a couple more. And we are here with the legend of the West himself.
I won't go that far. We're in Fond du Lac. This is Joe territory.
Well, that's true. That's true. You can be right behind Joe. But you want to introduce yourself?
Derek Medved, Gary resident.
Yeah, Gary resident. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. Before we get started, I want everybody to like and subscribe to our page. Share the video. You know, that's how we get our views up. And, yeah, enjoy. Well, like always, tell us about little baby Derek.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
You know, actually, Joe's stepson seen a picture of me the other day, and he said I had a big head as a kid.
Yeah.
So, you know, all that knowledge, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I grew into it a little bit.
You might have. Yeah. It's a test.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's proportionate now, anyway. Yeah.
Good. We're there.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I would say a great childhood.
Okay.
Born
in Duluth.
Born and raised in Gary.
Got it. Okay.
You know, Gary.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen.
Got to be very specific.
You gotta be specific.
Big
when
difference.
you out here, it's no game. I called the store earlier.
Yep.
I said, "Hey, are you the store out west?" He said, "No, we're the store in Gary." And I'm thinking, it's out west. But let me not disrespect the culture. My bad. Being from Jersey,
Yeah.
you know. Sorry, sir.
Yeah.
You know. Now I know better when I call.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But yeah, you know, and there's actually a big difference. So if you look at Gary Lumber, Gary Builder Supply, there's an old set of train tracks that go right across the street.
Okay.
And if you go further west, that's New Duluth. And then, of course, Gary is where, you know, the corner stores are, where the, you know, Puglisi Gun Emporium. And that's a big deal. I mean, people do not like messing around with the different... I mean, if you say, I'm from Gary, and you're like, actually, you're from New Duluth. That's like, those are fight words.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
gang territory.
Yeah.
No games. All right.
But, you know, I always say, you know... my mom, single parent, raised two kids, right? She worked like hell, loved like no tomorrow, and she took no shit, never gave up. And so truly, I mean, that's a lot of the background for my life.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of my inspiration and just upbringing was really focused and, you know, built on seeing the determination of a single parent, right? Just get up every day and taking no shit. And she really worked hard to build a good life for us.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't want to say we were poor, but we didn't have much. And it truly teaches you a lot watching a parent bust their ass and work really hard. But again, being the loving one, but being the disciplinary too.
Yeah.
I mean, she really...
That balance got to be there.
It was a balance. I mean, one
there.
minute she'd be whooping us, and then the next she's like, you know, I love you, hey, sorry. And it's like, oh, okay, like this is... But
shout out to mama.
It worked.
Yeah.
And
how many siblings?
Just one.
Just one.
And I'm blessed to have 3 other stepsisters. So I always say I'm the youngest, I'm the only boy, but the favorite. So it all worked out.
Yep.
But I tell you what, I mean, watching her, you know, just really navigate and raise us. I mean, I remember one time she ripped a bedroom door off. Like, she was not messing around.
Yeah, okay.
But she was a little lady, and I mean, I think we then realized, we shouldn't fuck with mom.
Yeah.
I think we can swear on here.
I don't
think
it's fine.
Yeah, good.
My mom, I think about it. My mom is, you know how people say she's the sweetest lady? My mom really is the nicest mom I've probably ever met. And sometimes too nice.
Yeah.
But there was a time, and I just told this story to some kids the other day, of we had went out to a restaurant. And it was my great-grandmom's, like, I don't even know, probably 80th at the time.
Yep.
And this lady walked in, and she had those big retro glasses on. I'm sitting next to my brother. I was like, yo, look at them big-ass glasses. My mom looked over. I'm not paying attention. And she said, what'd you say? My dumb ass repeats it. Not thinking. You know, we just laughing. Boom! Punch me dead in my mouth. And, I mean, we in the middle table in this restaurant, and I'm thinking... And I'm a big boy, you know what I mean? Like, even when I was younger, and I'm thinking, well, shit, let me not do that. It's still rare for me to cuss in front of my mom, you know, like, but like you said, like, she was sweet when she needed to be, but her being a single parent, that determination to make sure she gonna raise 2 boys, because me and my brother was savages, like, demons. One day we'd get into it, but she did her best to make sure we was locked in for sure, so I can relate with that.
But I think what a beautiful thing, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of kids, you know, have, you know, step parents. They have, you know, one single parent. And I think what a beautiful thing that we get to experience, right? Our parents, right? In the good, the bad.
Yeah.
And I mean, we are products of our parents.
Oh, yeah.
And so
For better or worse.
For better or for worse, right? Ooh. But I'm truly blessed to have been raised by my mom and just understand and the love. I mean, there was always so much love, and I think that we were raised on love, and I truly understand that that expression now. It means a lot, and it's like, I mean, if you don't got love, then I mean, I've run into so many people, and somebody who's in my life who has never been hugged by his dad, and you're like, hang on a minute, wait,
that's crazy because
I think
has my dad ever hugged me?
It's wild.
Jerry, have you hugged me?
Yeah,
you just really took me back to a place just now.
It truly. To the listeners, to anybody, I think it really does open a door to say, you know what, my mom hugged us all the time, and we always said we love you.
Yeah.
And I mean, granted, I think there's different people in life where it's like, I mean, you grow up differently. Maybe certain people didn't get that from their parents or whatever, and so. But it's just wild to say, my dad has never hugged me. So
and I think it's a generational thing too.
Yeah,
because my dad never hugged me.
Yeah,
I've hugged all my boys.
Yeah. I get that. My real dad, he got killed when I was 3, so I didn't know him. But my brother's dad is who raised me and my brother. Tough dude, whole family, real tough.
Yeah.
And we couldn't cry at all. If we cry, we get punched in the chest. You try to suck it up, but you can't breathe. But I mean. I know he loved us, that was never a question, but I can't remember him ever hugging us at all. And now, we saying we give him a dap and a hug like that, but there's something different than that 2-arm open hug. It's like when somebody say love you versus I love you.
Yep.
Big difference.
Yep.
I ain't taking away from it, but some people just can't bring themselves to put that I in front of it.
Correct.
I mean, I get it. Correct. Yeah, it's a wild thing.
But I think no matter what, right? I mean, we've seen a lot, and I've seen a lot, where people, I mean, things are changing all the time.
Yeah.
And I think we're gravitating more towards just a warm, embracing, who gives a shit? We're going to do our thing, and we're going to show people we love them, we care about them, and we're going to be open and honest about stuff.
Yep.
And I think, and we'll probably get into it too, but it's such a beautiful thing for people to just be open and honest about stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Here's who I am. This is what I'm dealing with in life. And, having other people share, and be there, right? And that's a great thing.
Yeah.
So.
Quick, all right. So I want to go back a little bit. Probably gonna get a little personal, deep, but because I don't know, so I want to know. So you mentioned having 3 step siblings.
Yeah.
So what did you know your father growing up?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I did. And so, and we can. Was that the question?
Well, that's part one of. Well, then I'm gonna ask a different one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So of course I did, and. I will tell you this. I actually gave a speech the other day at the chamber event.
Okay.
And, I told somebody that after, I said, that is the first time I've ever, I think, shined a positive light on my dad.
Okay.
And I think for many reasons is, I think when he was, and unfortunately he's passed, and I think during his time while he was alive, I couldn't give him the credit he deserved, right? Because we all deserve credit, right?
Yeah.
Win, lose, or draw. Yeah. That we have things in life that we didn't perfect, right? And there was mistakes, and we all make mistakes. But truly, I mean, I don't ever want it to seem like he was a bad dude.
Yeah.
I mean, he truly was a loving, caring, but he had plenty of mistakes, and I think the biggest thing was that I held against him on many fronts is how he affected my mom.
Yeah, and I get that.
Yeah, and so there were some situations, and I don't want to get into too much detail, but. There was a point where the home I actually live in now, because I think for me that home is everything that she is, right? My mom was such a hardworking person, and that home meant a lot to her. And so, right, I mean, that if those walls could talk, we could tell a lot of stories. Yeah. But she was so proud and determined about her home, right? And I think it's a beautiful thing for a lot of people in today's world is owning a home, right? That is a dream. That's an American dream.
Yeah.
And so for her to accomplish that, but almost lose it because of my dad, after the divorce, she left him, right? She said enough is enough, and she didn't make a whole lot, right? He was kind of the breadwinner, but for her to kind of say, nope, I'm gonna hold my guns, right? I'm gonna really focus on what I can and can't do, but mostly on what I can do.
And how old were you?
I was 7, 6 or 7. But again, right? I remember. Her throwing his clothes out on the front lawn, like she was done, like she had it, and and I remember her breaking down many times because there was some cheating, he had cheated on her, and so then I remember her just that's it, enough is enough, and she wasn't going to tolerate that anymore, and so she kicked him out. But again, like I said, right, for the divorce, she had there's refinancing and all that kind of stuff for people who've been through divorce, right? You kind of cut it right down the middle, right? And that love seed is going to get cut right down the center. So, so we almost lost a lot of things, including the house. And I think looking back, right, that was just growing up, right, becoming an adult, and you're like, hang on a minute, that was a really fucked up thing. So I think again, right, I didn't know the full details because I was the kid.
Yeah, you're young. Yeah,
and so I think looking forward, it's like, you know what? They were two imperfect people, because we're all imperfect people. They were two imperfect people going through a really rough time, and they were young, right? They were babies in life, and but you know, being a kid, right? Because you can only understand what you're witnessing through the lens you see it through, and but truly looking back, right? I mean, both of them loved us. Both of them worked really hard to give us the life that they wanted us to have. But you know, that was a big pivotal point, right? Because we again learned a lot because of the situation in the life that we were thrown into, right? And so I wouldn't trade it for the world. And so again, we're just a product of two people who tried their darndest and loved like no tomorrow.
So. And just listen to some of what you said is like my real dad or my brothers, like they weren't really involved with my mom. So my mom, and I'd say this, she got involved with some guys like that me and my brother always resented. You know what I mean? Like in the house, like we will beat these dudes up, like for real. Like, it was no games. And I think it wasn't, and my mom would say, y'all don't want me to be happy. And we thinking, yes, we do. That's why we're trying to protect you. We're kids, you know, and we don't, at the time, don't know everything my mom went through. We just know we see her struggling when we both got dads who could have stepped up at the time, you know, but they want to do whatever they do. You know, it is what it is. It's life. You know, so my mom just tried to fill that gap or void with these other guys who were shitty. And to be honest, me and my brother talk about this all the time. It's like, I am so glad there wasn't a man in the house. Which is probably crazy for a lot of people to say, but I would, if I could start over, I would want the same. I just wanted us and my mom. Because I knew we could help her, we could take care of her as best we could. You know, as sons, you know, we obviously couldn't do more than that, but sometimes I do think like, damn, did she miss out on something because we was assholes? But I wouldn't care at the time. It is what it is. You know, so we just wanted to make sure she was happy. And in our eyes, she was always happy when it was just us. So that's what we try to build. It's like, fuck y'all, ain't nobody else coming in this picture. If you do, me and my brother fight. Like, that's what we do. Like, y'all gonna hate us, but it is what it is.
But you know, and I was trying to think on that point too, is like, my mom had a personal life. Like, you know,
personal life. Like, who do you think you are?
Hang on a minute.
Like, if you're not grown, but you are.
But again, as kids, right, we sometimes have that, you know, that up. Like, that wall is like, our parents aren't people. They don't have lives.
They at home waiting for us to get out of school.
So,
I think about that all the time too. Like when I was 24 and we had kids in 25, 26, I thought I was young. And I remember like, man, my parents were also young. Like
they was young. I remember when I found out my mom's name wasn't Mom. I'll never forget that. Me and my brother was in the car and I heard somebody say Tanya. Me and my brother was looking around like, who the fuck is Tanya? She said, that's my name. And we got slick, trying to call her by her first name. I remember she reached back in the seat and slapped us. You don't call me Mom. You call me Mom. You know, I was like, oh shit, like you human too. You ain't just Mom.
But you know, and I did that too. I called my mom by her name. She used to be a little shit sometimes. So I'm like, you know, okay, Sharon. You know, and you know,
Sharon,
better than Karen,
right? Her sister is Karen.
Oh,
that's a
Karen's a wonderful name.
Yeah, but we love it.
But not Karen. She's great. You know, phenomenal aunt. If you're listening, Karen,
love you, auntie.
But you know, and I think one time she did bring it up because you know I was pushing a little bit, whatever, just horsing around, and she said, you know, I'm Mom to you. And please remember that. You know, it's like, hang on, wait, you know, did you just get like sentimental? And I think such a proud moment for her to be like, you know, I'm your mom. Like I'm proud of that. Right. And so to all those moms out there who were like, you know, just super damn proud. And I'm sure in the grocery store when kids are like yelling Mom, they're like, hang on, wait, where is that me? No, not my baby. So
moms know which mom is there.
Oh no, for sure. That is true. So all right, now to fast forward a little bit past. When did the stepkids come in? Did your mom remarry, or did she just redate, or
you know? And I need to like put it on the record and clarify. You know, so they were never married, but I think one for just the whole life experience that you know the way Dan accepted me and, our family and really just took care of my mom and loved her. It's like, they were married in my book, about 9 years. And so...
and this is the stepkid's dad.
Yep.
How old were you when he came into...
So I was about... I was about 16 or 17.
Got it, okay.
And I didn't tell the story because it's actually really quite interesting. And I think it's funny as heck. So she worked at, an assisted living. So she worked up at Benedictine Healthcare.
Yeah.
And so Dan's mom, unfortunately, was in there, just kind of, recuperating, but also... I think in hospice care. And so, they would run into each other in the hall, and of course she caught his eye, and, he caught, and so, my mom would go into the room after and just kind of play recon on his mom. Like, hey, who is that? What's the story? And of course she found out the details. That hey, that's the son, he's single, XYZ, he works for the city of Duluth.
Okay,
and so then she would bring up to Dan, like, hey, so-and-so is in here, asking questions about you. Super nice gal. So, of course, I think my mom and her exchange, some conversations about, hey, maybe we should, And so Dan was walking by a room one day, and he said he walked by, it was an empty room, and my mom was in there mopping the floor. It was just beautiful, and the sun was coming in, and I think he said she looked like an angel. And so she was mopping the floor, and he goes, hey, that doesn't look so bad. And she goes, oh, and he's like, the floor doesn't look so bad either, something like that. So clearly,
little game from Dan.
Line,
little game.
And Dan would always say that their relationship started off with a lie, because she said, we should do coffee sometime. Well, she hated coffee. So, and I think the first time I met him, I know he came over. And I was laying on the couch, and he comes in. He's like, "Hey, I'm Dan." I'm like, "Who is this for?"
Dan.
Like, what?
Who you here for?
And I think I told my mom, like, he will not tell me what to do. Like, I'm not going to be taking any of that. But again, I mean, he is my biggest supporter now. And I tell you what, I talk to him every single night.
That's dope.
And we have a great conversation. And you're right. When you said, love you or I love you. And of course, he was one of those guys where it was like, nah. But just the shit we went through with losing my mom and just navigating life, he is one who does say I love you. And I think it's such a powerful thing to be like, you are not, he had no reason to stick around after my mom passed, right? And, in that whole tragic way, but he stuck around and he never gave up, and he is still there being a supporter and loving me like one of his own. And I think that is the most beautiful thing in the world.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
now, you ain't got to get into it, but how old were you when your mom passed?
So I was 21.
Okay.
Well, 21. Yep. And I just had a birthday. And, and of course I've shared openly before, that I lost my mom to suicide. And it just, it cleaned my clock. It took me down. And I was at a point where I was very suicidal. And I didn't want to get up. I mean, that was it. I mean, watching the strongest person in your life, right, pass away for something that you had so many questions, you didn't have answers. And it's like, hang on, this is a joke. What is going on here? But again, I mean, I've been more and more open about it. And, I always say, remind the people that you love them. And don't ever, forget it. Don't ever forget to say that, because you never know. I mean, you could walk out the door, and I did. I went to mow the lawn one day, and, I hugged her at the back door, and I said, Mom, I love you. And she was going through some rough patch, right? I mean, I think, whether, you talk about menopause, she was diabetic, right? And I think there was just a lot of changes, and she had to work through them. But a lot of us didn't see the signs, right? And how can you advocate for somebody if they don't even know what's going on?
Yeah, definitely.
And, but I remember that. I hugged her at the back door. I said, we'll figure it out. I love you. And she said, I love you back. And went to mow. 20 minutes later, came back in, and I found her. And, and she, had, hung herself. And I don't want to get too graphic, because I want to realize there's people watching. But, and I worked on her. And I really, finding a parent in that situation, but also working on them and going through that, but also then having false hope, where the Duluth Fire Department and Police Department showed up, and they really took over and made a phenomenal effort, right? Got her heart going again. And we had false hope in the hospital where they said, hey, we're gonna go through all these procedures, and 4 days later, unfortunately, that was it, right? But we got to donate our organs to some really phenomenal people and some families. And so we try to look at the positive. And so, you know what, she is in a beautiful place. And again, it was just such a moment in life where it's like, you know what, your whole world falls apart. I didn't go to work for, 6 months. And, but you truly, even now, right? I mean, I still cry, and, and it's still, but it comes in waves, right? And of course, they're less and less, but you'll never get over it. You'll never get past it, but, you learn to live with it. And I think a few people, counselors, not city councilors, but counselors, have told me that if it gets heavy, put it down. Right? You do not have to carry it every single day. And so take time, take a breath.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I mean, definitely a huge pivot point in life where it's like, what's important in life.
Yeah.
And but then realizing that you have a lot of phenomenal people. I mean, moments like that in life really teach you who is there for you who cares and loves you. And I mean, I love them. I just, there's so many people I'm thankful for. Even you guys, right? I mean, just having them part of the fabric of your life is such a great thing.
No, we enjoy calling you a friend.
Yeah,
for sure. So, all right, let's pivot a little bit. Thanks for sharing. I really appreciate it. So going through high school, did you ever? And I know the answer to this. I feel like, but did you ever think you wanted to leave Duluth? What was your plan like when you graduated?
I did. I had a lot, and I think when you're 18, right, you have all these ideas, right? I mean, and you're focusing on your love life and your work life, and right, what do you want to do? Go to school? What are your goals? And it's a clean slate. And so I truly loved Fort Myers, Florida. I was like, I want to go to Florida, and I want to live there, and I can and
had you on vacation there as a family or went visiting?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my mom, the first time she ever flew, right?
Okay,
I took her to Fort Myers.
Okay.
And so now I have a house down there.
Cool.
But just, I mean, it's such a beautiful place. I'm like, I want to be down there. I love the warm weather. I love the tropical. I'm a Minnesota boy, but the cold. I'm like, hang on, this is getting. And I was on ski team with Joe and all that, and so, but I'm glad, right, that my life is where it is now. Because right, I'm home. I'm where I need to be, where my roots are, and you can travel, right? You can go wherever you want.
I love traveling.
But I believe that things are meant to happen for a reason. And so, but yeah, I had all these ideas. I'm like, I want to go here. I want to go there. Yeah, I mean, high school, I was working a lot. Because I think back then, my mom told me one time, when and this goes back to childhood a little bit, so we're rewinding a little bit. But I always said, Mom, I want this, I want that, right? And my cousin got a car for his 16th birthday, and I was like, hang on, I want a car. And she said, if you want something in life, you got to work really, really, really hard for it, because I can't give it to you. And so, of course, then started my journey in the gas station industry, right, where I started working there when I was like 14, 15. And that was kind of like my tie to the community, building those relationships with the customers and really falling in love with that industry. And so, I think that was the biggest anchor. I don't say anchor in a negative way, but a positive way, right? It kept me anchored and tied to the community.
Yeah, get locked in.
And so, and the passion I had just for the convenience store industry. But yeah, I mean, I didn't think too far after that about, leaving. But then it was, I always thought too, I can't be a convenience store cashier for the rest of my life. The math does not matter. So it didn't work. But again, then came my kind of dreams of owning a store and how does that work? What does that look like? And again, right, kind of the puzzle pieces fell into place, right, with a lot of things with Jim Shelton losing the store and me picking it up. How it all worked out. And so if it's meant to be, it'll be.
Yeah, for sure. Did you do college or anything, or kind of worked and figured it out?
Yeah, so I went to school to be an EMT.
Okay.
Yeah, and just a complete. And I think it's important that sometimes when you're like, you know what, I did this not for me. Great. Pivot. Like redo what you want to do. Get it. So I mean, if if somebody has a heart attack, I'm there. Like I'll be there, right? If somebody's having a baby, I'll, maybe I don't know. But but you know what? I know, right? I know certain skills, but don't count on me. But I think it truly,
push, girl.
It truly taught me a lot. That I think the convenience store industry is more for me. That was something.
So how did you tell me about your journey through that? Because like I said, I've known you maybe for 3 years, maybe 4 years. Just off and on.
But then we got to say, but we feel like we've known each other forever.
Forever. You gotta throw that in because that's what people like to. I'm gonna be honest. I do feel like I've known you. We don't spend a lot of time at all. I see you here and there. We chit chat every once in a while. I mean, I saw you at a wedding the other day.
I did, and I was like,
it was a great time.
Like, it just warmed my heart. I'm like, there he is, right there. And you were like breaking like moves on that dance
floor. Did you see me?
You were like going to town.
Double cupping, no games, didn't spill a sip.
You were. And it just made me proud. Like, again, like I've known him forever. I'm like, there he is right there.
Moment.
So,
we got a nice picture and everything.
But isn't that the beautiful thing, right? I mean, you can build relationships with people and you're like, you know what, here you go.
Yeah, and I tell you, the best relationships are the ones, even if you don't see that person for a while, you pick up right where you left off. You know, and you more than me, at least here in Duluth, you know a lot of people here. I've only been here for 8 years, but to be honest, I feel like I know the whole city. And
well, you do know the whole city.
Well, that's
the whole city knows you.
And that's true.
Yeah.
And I was talking about this with somebody earlier, my buddy Paul Goosen, and is I know a lot of people, but my circle is like very tight. And there's certain people I keep around. Like I talk to Joe every day. Other than my boyfriend, the only person I talk to every day is Joe, other than him. And we Holly was messaging me the other day. She said, "Yeah, Joe, get up." He said, "Oh, I gotta go up past." And there, I'm talking to John on the phone. I was like, "Shit, Joe calling. I gotta call you back." You know. Yeah. But a lot of our conversations are to the world meaningless.
Yep.
But for us, we got to get that couple minutes in, even if it's 2 minutes. Yo, you good? Yeah, you good? All right, I'll see you later. I'll call you in a couple hours. That's it. You know.
That's
but
the beautiful thing.
It is just knowing you got a friend to lock in with, or that you can just talk to if you stressed out. About, and they ain't even got to know I'm stressed or, whatever. Johnny got no, it's just, hey, I need to talk for a minute about something dumb, get my mind off whatever the hell going on, and go from there, you know. So it is those couple friends that you have, or just those moments with certain people, it's like, damn, I needed that. I didn't even know I needed it, but you needed it, you know, so. But yeah, so tell me about that journey throughout this corner store gas industry, know, that you are a mogul of now.
Well, thank you for that. You know, and it's not just me. And I mean, people can say, I'm the owner, I'm the face, but it takes so much more talent. And I mean, there's just phenomenal individuals because when I said I was gone for about 6 months because my mom passed. I should have come back to nothing. I should have had to start over from scratch.
How old are you now?
29.
Good. All right. Just needed to know what was the.
So we're almost that 10-year mark of being in business, and I mean, just phenomenal. It's just absolutely amazing, how much we've accomplished in my opinion, a short time. And so again, it doesn't happen by luck. It doesn't happen just because we have some phenomenal people. And again, surround yourself with good people, and good things will happen. And so Sherry, who's our CFO, Rachel, who's our HR director, John, who's our controller. I mean, we just have so many people who are so anchored into these, their roles and their details that I feel like we will continue growing at rapid rates. But again, there's a cool, I'm probably going at the wrong end here, but from the current moment, that we're really focusing on a phenomenal opportunity to say that employee ownership is going to be the top.
That's cool.
Top priority. And what does that mean for our current stores? I will hold on, and operate, our current locations. But I really want to give individuals a reason to say, you know what, they have skin in the game. They have the ability to grow with us. And being Derek Medved as, way back in the day saying, well, I can't be a convenience store cashier forever. What is my role? What is my future, right? And now we want to give people who are truly dedicated and truly involved and love what they do a clear path to say, you know what, I can be an owner. I can own and operate and really make this a career with good benefits, good pay scale, X, Y, Z. And so that's one thing that I've really tasked, because we have a board of directors, because if something happens to me, I want to make darn sure.
It's taken care of.
And so I have some family on the board, and some of our leadership is on the board. But I really, ask them to come up with a game plan to take us to the next level where any future stores, I don't know, I don't have any ownership, but of course, we will. It's a recipe, right? I mean, we've crafted like a cookie recipe, and they're good and they're great. And how do you?
Holly made some good cookies over there.
I know. I seen them. So it
was a
perfect comparison.
Way to go, Holly.
So giving them the recipe as where I mean, we'll rent our name, and it'll be more maybe a franchise. But again, we're going to perfect it and see how we can continue on. But
how many stores are you up to now?
So we have 9. We have some that we're working on. Well, the other team is working on.
Cool.
But yeah, I mean, there's just so many different components of it, and we have other stuff, other than C stores, the restaurants and stuff like that. So I always say, a different number because accounting all that in. But yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful thing. It's amazing.
All right, so now we're gonna back up again. When I met you through the city council lens,
the good old days.
The good old days. So, what made you want to get into the city council?
I think
there's
many things that encourages a person to run. Right, you got to love your community. You got to have a passion. You got to have a vision. That. The Boy Scouts, right? Leave it better than you found it. And so, if you don't have those ideas and those interests and saying, I think I can add a positive touch and I can improve something. Right? I want to advocate for something positive. But, for me, it was, I think at that moment, the city council was putting the tobacco ban through. The city council was putting earned, safe, and sick time. There was just a bunch of different details and ordinances that were being worked on. And so what bummed me out the most and encouraged me was the fact that they were not, in my opinion, right, working with stakeholders in the community. They weren't working with the direct individuals or businesses it was affecting. And so
that's it, boy. I'm gonna get into that in a minute.
Yeah. And so it was like, hang on, and right, the votes came in, and it all it all went. I don't say against our favor, but right, it wasn't the outcome that should have been the outcome.
Yeah.
And so I said, I thought about it more and more, and right, there was just other factors too, and I'm like, I'm gonna run. And being involved in the community club, right? You're like, okay, like Gary, this is cool, but on a bigger scale, like how can you affect change?
Yeah.
And what does it take? And so being on council, I said, this is something I really want to do. I love the community, and so I ended up promising somebody I wasn't gonna run in the 5th. And so I ended up running at large. And let me tell you, that was truly one of the most horrific things, putting yourself out there to the public and putting your ideas in writing and saying, hey, here's what I'm thinking. And right, we've all been there.
Yeah.
And but I tell you what, it's all about the recipe too. And I had it's timing.
Yeah.
And Kenzie Lundeen, if Kenzie's listening, we just had you guys, right? It was a phenomenal team.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't trade it for the world. And I truly loved it. And unfortunately, right, I stepped down, and I do one day wish to get back into politics and when, where, and why, right? And so when I can answer all those, we'll see.
Yeah. No, I get that. It's when I was running the same time Joe was running, and for me, I wasn't where I am now, like at all. I knew a lot of people, but it was still like. I was still trying to figure out like where I wanted to go direction wise, building this nonprofit up and everything. And then I got to a point, it was like, I feel like I'm doing overall more for the city than what was going on and just from my point of view.
Yeah.
Than I would be at city council for me personally, not a knock to nobody, just for me. And I needed to be locked in because now when I look back and see like everything that happened during that time, I probably wouldn't have grew nearly to where I needed to be.
Yeah.
Or helped as many people get to where they needed to be.
Yep.
And sometimes I go back and forth like, damn, do I want to run again one day? Because in my mind, I believe I'll do good and probably get in. But it's like, I think you know me enough to like, I'm not an in the box guy. Like you cannot confine me in this and hope I stay in there because I'm gonna bust this shit up.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not confrontational, but I'll stir the pot in a second. Yeah. Because the goal is to challenge people.
Correct.
Like challenge those norms. Everybody say they want change until it's time for change.
Yep.
It's like, listen, if you tell me, I say this to the kids all the time at the youth center. If you tell me you want to do better, be ready for what that means.
Yep.
Because I'm no longer letting you do the same thing.
Yep.
You're going to hate me some days, and that's okay.
Yep.
I'm going to still love you. I'm going to still be here to lift you up if you fall and keep pushing you when you slowing down.
Yep.
It is what it is. And I think on every level, that's just how, I don't know, some of my mindset is.
Well, and I think, to touch base on that too is how I always look at it, the angle is, what is that famous saying? It's like, sometimes you don't remember what people say about how they made you feel. And if you bring good energy to a situation, which, I will say you are good energy, right? And Joe, right? When you have people who bring good energy, that makes all the difference. And so, right, if that's what you can bring to the table, because, right, I'm sure if you ask people, they don't know what I said.
Yeah.
They don't remember much. But again, if I truly made them feel, or if you make people feel, like you're hearing them, right? They're important to you, and you're really trying to put out good energy into the world. That's all there is to it.
Yeah,
and so I think if anybody on council or in politics or wants to think about running, well, just bring good energy, right? Be your true authentic self, and have the best of other people at heart, right? And I don't know, you could run in anything, right? But as long as you just have that good energy and that kindness to you, I think
I think you always had good energy too, because I think when people look back and they think of your time on the board and on the council, they think that was a voice for us, right? Because a lot of times people don't feel like nobody's listening to me. I don't have a voice, and I think people look back and think, yeah, Derek stood up for us, and maybe they don't remember all of the things that you stood up for, but they think of you in that light.
And I would hope so, right? And of course, you're going to get that from each individual, voter, right? And how each person, and I'm sure there's many out there who maybe say, they feel differently about it. But right, I can always say, right, 100%, I brought my best to the table, and I always try to do the home, focus on the homework and focus on the outcome, because you can't keep everybody happy. There's just no way possible. But again, I just try to be kind and effective, but also, right, keep everybody's best interest in mind.
Definitely.
So,
This is a question people ask me all the time. It's like, how do you balance, and for you, how is the balance of work and personal? Do you feel like you're having time for yourself, but what you're still growing and having these businesses, is it, a lot one way and less for you? Like, how is that for you, that balance?
I'm terrible at it. I will say that.
I suck.
I'm terrible at it. But, I truly, truly, truly love what I do. But I always, one thing, maybe as we get older, right? And I shouldn't say older, because I'm sure
you're about to be 30, dude.
What the hell is this guy talking about? When I get to Joe's age, so like 30 more years.
I got the grin.
Yeah. So somebody told me the other day, in 100 years, none of this shit's gonna matter. None of it. Like the decision I make, the business I built. Hopefully it would, right? But it's truly not gonna matter. And it taught me a lot after my mom passed away, right? That what matters and what really doesn't. But it's almost like a coping mechanism. You lose yourself in your work. And I'm so dedicated, and I love what I do, and I want to build something really cool that when I'm 95, maybe I make that to that age. But when I'm on my deathbed, and I'm like, you know what? That was fucking fun. We had some amazing times. But now, like Reddit told you, is, I want to turn that and pivot away from, what I'm building to what we're building, and give other people that opportunity to say, hey, you know what, I can be part of that. So, balancing my personal life is becoming, more of a goal, because, right, when we're welcoming more of these people who have skin in the game, right, we can all have our part of the operation, say, we're focusing on this, and I can maybe, right, do something else here and there, or even run for politics again, right? Opening up more and more time to say, hey, how can I also dedicate time here or there? But I will say, and I did touch base for the first time ever publicly about my personal life, and that I do I met somebody about 4 or 5 years ago.
Nice.
And of course you got to make time for those special people that you love in your life. And there is more to life. And so not only do I have my work life, but so does he. And how do you bridge that gap and really make it work, because that's something you really need to nurture, right? You can't just avoid your personal life all the time and say, it'll be there, right? You got to love the ones who are there with you. And making it a priority. And of course, our ways of life, our work life is drastically different, right?
What does he do?
Ranching. So in the big, like you talk about like Yellowstone, like it's all that, So
that's fishy. Switch the whole sport up.
So it's just a definite different way to look at life and say, there's more out there. And how do I, how do you build on that?
I get that. My partner is an electrician, and
electrifying.
And I remember, like, for the longest time, and even now, like, I'm very enthralled in what I do. I love it, and I'm locked in. I'm locked in. And people always say to me, you gotta, make time for yourself. But kind of what you touched on, like, I feel like this is time for me. And because I truly love what I do. Like, I never dread going to work. I don't. I think especially when I'm working with the kids, I love it.
Yep.
I dread going to meetings with other adults, because most adults are more childish than a lot of the kids I work with. I don't be feeling like talking about the same thing over and over. Like we just had this meeting, that was the same meeting we had 2 months ago, and there's nothing. And I'm a mover, and I need stuff to always progress, and if it's not, I get bored and whatever. But those outlets for myself a lot of time is, being with my partner. We long distance, he lives in Sioux Falls, I'm here, but
no
we
way.
try to,
Yeah, so mine's up in North Dakota.
Really?
Yeah.
That's why we're double.
So you're going one part, not,
Yeah. We're in North Dakota.
Oaks, North Dakota.
Oaks, I don't know where that's at.
Right up from Aberdeen, South Dakota.
Oh shoot!
Yeah,
okay,
right across the border.
That's wild.
We're on the good side of the border.
Yeah, well.
So I don't know what to tell you.
South Dakota, not bad at all.
No, not bad, but not as good as North Dakota. Christy, hopefully she's not listening to this podcast.
Well,
she'll.
Christy.
Yeah.
I will say this, and then we'll back up into something.
Yeah.
Every year I go to Wapaton, North Dakota.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been there.
I go through there every time I head out to.
All right, I'm gonna tell you one of these times they do the best bar crawl I've ever been a part of. But they do this bar crawl for like cancer.
Okay.
Or they pick something different every year.
Yeah.
I forget what it was this year, whatever the red ribbon is. But every bar you go to, as long as you have the t-shirt or the wristband on, it's a deal. And it's like $150 drinks. Or $2. It's dangerous.
Shit.
I go with $100 and we spend that $100.
They definitely do it different in the Dakotas.
But they're fun. They're locked in. Obviously, I stick out for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
But my buddy, especially because it's me and a bunch of my other buddies who go that's all gay, and the town just look at us like, who the fuck are these guys?
Yeah.
But by the end of the night, they love us. We're having a ball. We having the best time. We were told us, so I'll do this probably till I can't anymore.
Yeah.
I'll go every year just to be locked in. But that's wild.
Yeah.
Good old ranch and electricity country.
Yeah.
But going back to what I was talking about, is like my outlets are, those times where I get to go there or he comes here.
Yep.
Or like football practice. I freaking love going to football practice because me and Joe coach together. Or, our games on Saturdays. Or Sundays when I'm just home having the edible, which is legal now. Having the edible, watching football, and just chill. I mean, I don't need much to be happy. I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't need much at all to be happy. That's as much outlet for myself as I need, because I think right now, you being young, I'm 32, about to be 33. I feel old as shit. But I feel like these are the years I need to work, and then I can slow down and truly enjoy. Yeah. I'll never stop doing what I'm doing. Yep. I'll just probably stop the day-to-day at some point, and hopefully keep mentoring people that can take my place, when it's time.
Exactly.
Like you said, building those people that can take those stores over and create ownership.
Yep.
I want I know for a fact one of the youth that is in there, we don't know who, or somebody that's coming up is going to be me one day, leading the next person to do exactly what we're doing. Just continue to and I hope they do it way better.
Bringing good energy to whatever they do.
100%.
And you said it right. Now you want to focus more on work, right? Mm-hmm. And then of course time to enjoy your life later. And it's such a crazy weird thing to say. What if we don't have later? Yeah. Right. And I always go back to my mom to kind of reflect on life too. Mm-hmm. It's like she was 54. Okay. And she was closer to retirement. Yeah. But you work your whole life, right? And you're banking on the fact that you're going to get to retire and enjoy life. And, whatever, right? Accidents happen, illness happens. Yep. And truly, you got to enjoy it. Mm-hmm. And so that was a big eye-opener to say, you know what? I'm going to have a little bit of a personal life. Yeah, you have to. And, just how thankful, I am, to have met him. And of course, it's something I never shared, right? Mm-hmm. And I think I will quote, somebody who's a little controversial, but I don't want it to ever seem like it's a political. We don't talk about politics on here. Yeah. But one thing, Tim Walz did say, and I love it. Mind your own damn business, right? And I think sometimes people need to do more of that and focus on, their own life and their own happiness, because I think we'll be a lot happier as people if we do, right? Just focus on yourself and make sure you're happy. And I think we'll all be happier as people. Yeah. Yep. So it's just crazy. Once you really do start focusing on your own happiness, you're like, it's good.
You don't, they don't care either. No. I remember, I'll never forget, my aunt, I came out when I was 24. Yep. I think I was 24. But my aunt asked me, and they were youth pastors and stuff at church, she said, why did you have to come out to everybody? I said, it wasn't for y'all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, it wasn't.
Yep.
I've always had this internal battle with myself because I grew up in the hood, gangs and everything else. Like, I mean, we was really in the streets. So you couldn't. Everybody I knew was gay was super feminine. That didn't think you could be a man with it. And like, I never want to be that. So I'm gonna just lock that shit in. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget. I text my brother.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna tell my brother. And let me back up. I was dating this girl. This is crazy.
Oh, shit.
Never listen.
Hopefully she's not watching.
No, I hope she's one of my best friends now.
Oh, good.
One of my best
Okay,
friends.
good.
So, and she cool as shit.
Good.
Her name is Maria. I love you to death. She knows that. But we was watching a movie one day on the couch. I never kissed her at all. Never nothing. We was dating for almost a year.
Wow.
She was cool. Like, she never really even say much, but we was like best friends. She's the girl version of me, cool as shit.
Oh boy. And
one day we was watching this movie and I had paused the movie and I was like, I gotta tell you something. She was like, what? I said, look, it's real tough, I said, I'm gay. She said, oh, that makes sense. Turn the movie back on. That was it. I was thinking.
Well, shout out to her. Like,
shit.
One heck of a good person.
We finished watching the movie. Went out, had a ball that night, got drunk.
Oh
but then, I mean, went separate ways. And it did affect her a little bit more than I knew at the time, because then, she started to try to go after different guys and stuff that just wasn't for her and fucked her up. And I remember I apologized to her. I was like, I didn't know how much it was going to affect you, nor did you didn't make it known at the time, but I should have even been more aware. But down the road, I text my brother. I was like, bro, just letting you know. He was like, bro, I've been to this gay. So I was like, he said, you don't date girls like nothing.
Yeah.
He said, so I figured you might have been, but I was just waiting on you to tell me. And then he FaceTimed me, and he's like, you want to take a shot? Because I said, I'm going to come out tonight. He said, fuck it, let's go. He said, it's going to be crazy. I said, I know. It is what it is. So I had this thing all typed up. I done rewrote 100 times.
Yeah.
Brother FaceTimed me, took a shot, then I put it out. And it was wild. Like, it was insane. To a point where I turned my phone off. It's like, I don't feel like reading none of this, looking at it. But then I got that message from my aunt. And she asked that question. I said, I've been telling myself my entire life, you're not this way. You can't be this way. And I knew I was, but I needed to say it out loud.
Yeah.
So I could just get it over with. Yep. And then my entire life, I've always kind of been this way, but now I was really like, I do not care anymore. And just live it.
And you get to a point in life where you're like, I just don't care.
Don't care.
Not give a damn's busted.
It's gone.
I'm like, I'm over it. Jody Messina, right?
Yeah, I'm just up now. Let's go.
And I feel like we have bigger things to worry about. And I don't say judge people for in the world because to each their own, but some people still eat pizza with pineapple. Like I feel like that's not good.
Why?
I don't know. See, we're big pivot here.
So no, that's okay.
I'm sure people are watching like he's judging me for eating pineapple,
but
which I am.
People don't have this cover. It's not like it's nasty.
No, you cannot do pizza with pineapple.
It's not, but it's not nasty.
Now I'm judging you.
Yeah.
Well, we just
but again, every day. But I'm in team ketchup and eggs, scrambled eggs.
Like, dude, I do the same
ketchup,
thing.
Well, I like ketchup and macaroni and cheese, which people think is crazy.
That's a white thing, if I'm being honest.
Ketchup and mac and cheese?
That's
it's not a thing. I've never heard of that.
I've seen it.
So, it's delicious.
College. That's a college thing.
Yeah.
It's trying to grow up, bud.
It's a Fond du Lac thing. Shit, I don't know. No.
Yeah, not Gary.
Yeah, sorry, Fond du Lac. Love you guys.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah.
That's like people up here that eat lutefisk.
Yeah, no, that's not a thing. Like, if that's a thing, somebody comment, because I don't know if that's a thing.
Yeah. Dude, I've seen it. I've been to Blackberry, and I've watched this old couple cut the lutefisk in half, bring it to their table in front of me while I'm eating crab legs. And they had the crackers, and they were scooping the... I said, wow. Yeah.
But again, I don't want to keep quoting Tim Walz, but I really love that quote. So if he's watching Tim Walz, if you're out there, I really did like that quote. Mind your own damn business. I mean, it's like, you know what? Live your life, be happy. But yeah, it's just a crazy world. But live it, and have fun, and just love yourself, and
What do you see for Derek Medved? I'm not going to ask this dumb 5-year question. Let's say in a year or two. Where do you want to be for yourself personally?
I thought I think I don't look at it in segments, right? Whatever feels right, and I think in the moment, because truly, right? What if I don't have 5 years, right? What if I, leave here tonight and get in an accident? You never know. And I think when we say, I'm going to do this, or whatever, if you have something you really want to make happen, figure out in the time and make it a reality. I want to get married, right? I want to, live life. I want to.
If I'm going to invite, I'm going to just throw this out.
There will not be an invite.
We're fighting.
There will not be an invite.
I'm showing up.
Yeah, like maybe FaceTime.
That'd be good.
Yeah,
I'm cool with that.
Like a FaceTime wedding
call.
Yeah. But
why not an invite? You're not going to have a big thing?
No, it's not going to be a reality. There won't be nothing.
And that's you though. I that's you.
Because he is going to be the opposite.
I'm throwing a banger. I'm talking about.
It's going to be like what was that big wedding that just happened overseas? Right, that was the big. It was like the royal family of weddings.
That's gonna be mine.
It's gonna be huge. Like
in a field, I'm gonna get 10 kegs. I'm roasting pigs.
He tells me all the time I better start preparing for my speech.
Yeah, because it's about to be crazy.
I'll be crying.
Yeah,
I'm a crier.
I'm a crier. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm more emotional than people actually know.
But now you guys know.
Now y'all know.
You know.
It take me a lot to get to that point, but sometimes I'm gonna just throw this out because we're vulnerable right now.
Yeah.
You ever seen Armageddon?
No.
Fuck. You ever seen Armageddon?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the movie about when they went on space, had to blow the meteor up.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but the first time I ever seen that movie, I fucking cried. And I remember getting up, going to the bathroom, thinking, "Piss, puff the fuck up, grow up." It was sad as hell. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think as I got older, I got to a point of I enjoy. I take in smaller moments now, and I appreciate them.
Yeah.
Or certain things I used to just overlook. It's whatever, that shit ain't cool. Like music. Grew up only really listening to rap.
Yeah.
Now my favorite genre is probably folk and indie. I love it. I blast indie. I know people look over at me like, there's no way he's listening to Florence and the Machine right now. Belting that shit out. No games.
See, and for me, when I was younger, I used to listen to rap too. But now I love George Jones. I don't know why.
See, we changed.
Yeah, we changed.
It all works out.
It's life.
Yeah.
I'm excited for your little intimate wedding.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
It'll be great.
You can have it.
You won't even know about it.
No, I at least want to know.
We'll be on a podcast in 5 years. That's cool. And I'm like, hey,
I got married as soon as we got off the show.
Yeah.
The next day, we got married.
It's in the driveway tonight. Maybe we'll just do it in the driveway.
Fuck it, let's go.
Yeah.
Who's gonna marry you?
I don't know.
Maybe
you.
I ain't gonna lie, dude. I'd be honored. Don't play with me like that. We can talk because I almost cried.
Oh boy.
Anyway.
Oh boy.
Yeah. If like I said, I want to have a banger. I'm just that type of person. I just love having fun with other people. I always want to enjoy the moment with others and just have it be something unforgettable.
Yeah. You know what? And one thing that my grandma always said, my mom said, now I say all the time, or I should just say our family always says, figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
That's it.
And I think that's people everybody's planning their life. They're like, oh my God, to a T, and people take things too seriously,
boring.
and you're like, figure it out.
That's like Joe.
Yeah.
Joe, I love Joe. Joe is
I love Joe too, for the record.
Yeah. He is just this way. And I always look at and say, Joe, go outside. Do something. You're only 40. You know what I mean?
Joe, you're only 40?
That's it.
Yes. Yeah. First of all, I'm just as busy as you. But the difference
is... Who said anything about busy?
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
You said go outside.
Yeah.
I'm outside all the time.
Okay, you mow the grass. Okay.
Holly mows the grass.
Yeah, right.
Well,
Don't even.
Holly, we know. Okay, we know what you do to hold this family up.
You carry the whole team.
That is fake news.
Yeah.
But no, it is. There are times I called Joe. I said, Joe, let's just go do something. Let me get out the house.
I'm a lot like you. I like to. And maybe I'm overstating, but I feel like you and I are the same. I like to be in a shell, or I just like to have things in compartments, and I just like to know. And he's always trying to pull me out.
Yeah.
He always wants to go do something or be out there, and I'm
just
always
like,
nah, let's just chill.
I hate going out of my routine. I'm so
the same way.
I'm so into routine.
I get that.
And I usually work until 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And then I go home, go to bed, and I get up everybody's like, oh, you get up at 6. I'm like, hell no, mornings are not my thing.
Yeah, I'm a morning. I lift at 5 every day.
And if anybody's listening who tries to get me in a meeting, and now you understand, I don't do morning meetings. Mornings are not my and I'm a night owl. So
and if I worked till 4, maybe my life would be different too. But my routine, don't get me wrong, my morning routine has to be locked in the same. My evening routine. But that gap, outside of those routine, especially, I got a rule. I don't drink Monday through Thursday.
Yep.
It's a rule.
Yep.
Every once in a while, if I go out, somebody invite me to something, I might have a couple, but that's it.
Yeah.
Friday and Saturday?
Yep.
Shit. We going to work.
And I think, as far as and nothing to it, but I don't drink.
Yeah.
The last time I drank, oh boy, that was I went out with some friends and we went to that, what is it, Dueling Pianos?
Oh yes, Holly and I.
Yeah, that was a good time. And I got so drunk. And it was on Thanksgiving Eve, because that's when I think Dueling Pianos comes, right? They make this, hey, let's get drunk before family shows up the next day. And so I got home, God, it was 2 a.m, and I puked all over our driveway. And I was still living at home.
Okay.
So I puked all over our driveway, and that was the last Thanksgiving with my mom. And so I woke up, she woke me up on the kitchen floor, and I had made some toast in the toaster, 4-banger toaster. So there was a lot of toast.
Hella toast.
And so she woke me up, and it was after, because I passed her on the floor. So that poor woman had to go clean up puke off the driveway and everything, and then she made me eat that toast. And so I was just miserable all day, and then I had to go to work. Yeah. But I didn't get that Thanksgiving dinner because I was just.
Yeah,
so that was the last time, and she said, just please don't drink. And I haven't.
Yeah,
so
you gotta respect that.
Yeah, so I'm like, Mom, I ain't drinking. And but yeah, just crazy. But you're right? I mean, my routine is I'm so focused on it, and I drink energy drinks to save my life. I have one in the truck. And there's nothing in here. Otherwise, I'd probably have an energy drink poured in there.
See, I'm telling you, Derek, because I don't drink either.
Yeah.
But I drink energy drinks all day.
Yeah. And I'm sure if a doctor's, please let us know what my lifespan is if I drink 5 energy drinks a day.
It's over.
I'm sure it's done.
Yeah.
So my 5-year plan is
one of Joe's legs is bigger than the other. I told him.
My doctor told me it was fine.
He's supposed to tell you that. For now.
We should get a second opinion.
For now,
If anybody knows a good doctor, we should. Yeah.
Last question. Let's go. I know it's getting late.
We got 3 more.
Yeah, 3 more. All right.
3
more.
Yeah, speed round.
No, and this is cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you something totally random.
Game on.
Do you want kids?
I thought about that.
Yeah.
And no. Because I think there's multiple answers to that, but I think the quick, the speed question or the answer is, I thought about it, and I'm too busy.
Yeah.
I'm at this life, and I'll be 30, and you're hang on, and you could be 50 when you adopt a kid or have kids. But I just think life is just so busy, and I'm blessed with some phenomenal nieces and nephews, and I'm I'll spoil them, and that way my sister and Scott's family and his sister and brother they raise them right? We can spoil the heck out of them, and they can raise them right.
Yeah.
And no.
I used to want kids until I started working with kids.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah.
But now a lot of the youth that we work with, some of them have had kids, and I think I got 7 god kids right now.
Yeah.
With another one, 2 more on the way.
That's plenty.
And I'm just and my brother's niece, she has cerebral palsy, and that's my girl. Love her to death. I'll spoil her. They live in Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
I send her shit all the time. My brother's bro, you gotta stop.
Yeah.
That's my, and now I'm just locked in that. And my partner has 3 kids. He got 3 girls. Yeah.
Wow.
The youngest is Rain. She is, I want to say 7. She has autism.
Okay.
Love her to death. Every time I come with her, she just walks on my shoulders, or she jumps off the couch because she has no fear and hope I catch her. If I don't, then she just hits the ground and we just do it again. Middle daughter, she is very artistic, has so many skills. She's really artistic. This girl can go somewhere with what she does.
Yeah.
She's 11. Then his oldest daughter is 17. And I'm taking her to a concert next week.
Oh boy.
A Boogie with the Hoodie.
Okay.
Yeah, down in Minneapolis. So it's exciting just watching them grow up and being part of their life. I'm I'm good.
And I think we need to really identify kids, right? Because some people their animals are their kids, and so when you talk about because there's the farm dog Milo, she's my child.
Really?
I would give her I told, and you gotta understand, right? And right? The Dakotas are a different lifestyle.
Different
people they're animals, replace them, right? They come and they go.
That's it.
I told somebody I would give her my left kidney, a dog, right? And they're who is this crazy?
And it's healthy.
What?
I couldn't give nobody mine.
I would, in a heartbeat.
No, I mean, mine's not healthy enough.
Oh, gotcha. I'd give you one.
Thanks.
I got healthy ones.
We probably,
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Joe,
there's proof now.
Your kidney's probably done.
Well, he's like 80.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I don't want
Yeah.
to keep it. Thanks for the distance. Yeah. Let's go one more.
No, two more.
Two more. That's right.
Two more.
Okay.
Denfeld Math. We just went.
Yeah. Common Core. That's what we are. We're those guys. Godfather's Pizza.
Godfather's Pizza.
Rate it 1 through 10, and do not give it a high score just because you have them. Okay.
Yeah.
Your honest opinion. How good is Godfather's Pizza?
So we need to have a discussion about Godfathers, right? Because you have Holiday gas stations, Godfather's Pizza.
It is.
Holidays. Well, you have Holiday, right? So
Yeah.
Holiday has Godfather's Pizza.
I didn't know that.
And you have our Godfather Pizza, right? The traditional.
Our Father who art in heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Hallowed
So
be thy name.
Holiday, if you're listening, and I'm really sorry, and I've told many people this, even Godfather's Corporate, I've told them, but that program is a 0, like terrible. Like whether they put it in a microwave and heat it up, that's the frozen program, and you're like, nah, we're good.
Yeah.
So I'd probably eat grass before. I'm being mean.
We're telling the truth. That's not me.
Correct. And so,
I'm from Jersey, so you are and I used to catch the mega bus from Cherry Hill, New Jersey, to New York, an hour and 14-minute drive to go get 2 slices of pizza from New York and catch the bus back.
Really?
Our pizza in the East Coast is no joke. I hate pizza here. The best pizza I've ever had here, it sounds crazy because people hate when I say it, it's probably Green Mill.
You like Green Mill the best.
I love it.
And again, no heat to Green Mill, but I mean, let's go back to Godfathers.
Yeah, let's go back.
Of
We
course,
pivoted.
it's like my baby, like my child. So of course, I'm not going to be like, what's a 10? Because Sammy's Pizza. I mean, they have my heart.
It's solid. It's solid. I'm not mad at Sammy's.
But my mom worked for Sammy's actually when she was pregnant with me.
Oh, cool.
And and so great family. Because I think the story behind it, like the people, really make a difference. And so great family, great product. But Shamrock too. Have you ever had Shamrock pizza?
Where's that?
Right over in Oliver, across the bridge.
That's good.
And we grew up with ham pizza. If anybody's ever had ham pizza, and you would never, it's like shredded ham. Again,
y'all mad at me for putting pineapple on the pizza?
Our whole family is like, it's a big thing. Ham pizza at Shamrock. So if you guys try, let me know. But I would say Godfather's is 7.
Okay.
I truly love it. Great product. Yeah. But again, right? I mean, what gas station can you truly go to and get a almost homemade, right, pizza? You have Hunt Brothers Pizza. You have, all these frozen, and I think it's Piccadilly too.
In Midwestern pizza tastes are different too.
Oh, everything with food. Y'all are hearty here. I mean, y'all were mining, logging, so everything is about hearty. Let's get that shit done.
Good, thick crust.
Thick crust. Like we're thinner out east.
Of course, like Godfather's, it depends on which flavor. But like, I'm usually a pepperoni pizza eater.
Yeah.
But your sausage pizza,
really,
I love it.
Really.
So you rate it. What do you think, Godfather's? And don't be offended to tell me.
Okay, this is gonna be bad, but
I
said, I ate macaroni and cheese with ketchup.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so we know what the baseline is.
Yeah.
But, all right, so if it's a sausage pizza, I'd probably give it an 8. Like, I really like that pizza.
Yeah.
That's solid.
Yeah.
What's the one in Dakotas? Not Come and Go, but gosh, they got a beautiful breakfast pizza there, and it's a gas station. Casey's. Fire.
Casey's does have a good... And
their pizza's solid.
Somebody joked about it not too long ago. They said they're a pizza company that sells gas. And truly, right, Casey's does have... It's hit and miss though, right?
Yeah, it is hit and miss.
Depending on what location you go to, and some don't even have pizza out; they don't have food out.
Yeah,
and then you're like, hang on a minute, like what is? So hit and miss, but I would say for me, it's all about crust.
Yeah, same.
Love the crust
and the sauce. I'm a sauce guy.
Okay,
yeah. If your sauce is nasty,
if it's too much, too.
Too much.
And I'm a plain Janer. I'm a cheese guy.
Okay,
like pepperoni just. Creeps me out. Like,
that's crazy. Holly's a cheese. She likes cheese pizza, and to me, it tastes nasty.
If I have cheese, they gotta have extra cheese. I'm a cheese guy too.
It's just that's like me. I'm all about the crust.
Really? Yeah. Crust is great. Don't get me wrong. Like, and it has to be solid. And I think that's what sets the East Coast apart too, because our water is so nasty out there, and they use it for the dough, and somehow whatever gets in that damn dough, beautiful. We love it. So all right. Last one.
Yeah.
Have you? Well, you probably have, but I want to know. You've met your partner's family.
Yeah.
What was he out when you met him?
To family, yeah.
To family, yeah.
Yeah.
How was it the first time you met his family then?
You know, I tell you what, the biggest blessing, and I told somebody not too long ago that, you know, what an amazing thing, because he has the full family, like the full family. You think about like a Midwestern movie, and you're like, oh, there's grandma on the farm, and you know the cows, and you're like that is it. Yeah. Like you got the meat and potatoes, you got the whole thing there.
I love it.
And like an amazing thing where they have family Christmas, like they do all this. His grandma is like this actual grandma from the movies. Like she's cute, but she's like you don't fuck with her. And her and I get along like that.
That's awesome.
And she'll call me and, you know, ask when I'm coming out. But that is one of the biggest blessings in my life is meeting him. And I think a lot of people, right, don't know that, right? Because I don't go out and share that too often. But yeah, the most amazing family. His mom is sweet. But I will go back to, right, remember when we started and we said hugging. My biggest oops was when I hugged his dad. Like he didn't see it coming. Like when I said, "Hey, nice to meet you guys," and I gave him a big hug, and again, he's never hugged his dad, and now his dad for some reason is always gone when I leave, and so there's like no departing hug. So I think he avoids me like the plague when I'm leaving or whatnot, because but again, I will tell you the most amazing family. And I'm just so thankful to be welcomed into that family, and just a true blessing.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now here's the question. This will be the last one, because I always ask people this at the end.
Yeah.
If you could go back and say something to your younger self, what would it be?
You know, I mean, that is a tricky question, and I think it really stops me to think. I would say, because I lost my mom. And then I lost my grandma, and I lost my dad, and so it was such, and that was we weren't a big family, so that was like pretty much the core people. I would probably say, tell them you love them more, spend more time with them, and truly enjoy, and take more pictures, and create more memories, because I did work a bunch, right? I worked a lot, and I missed a lot of family holidays. I missed a lot of memorable times, right? Quality time with family. But again, right? I sacrificed time to build what I built, right? So I don't want to ever say that I regret, because they all knew I loved them. Yeah. But I never want to say that I regret doing any of that. But I think it would be that, try to make every attempt to spend more time with people that we love, and tell them that. Yeah. Tell them we love them as much as we can. Yeah. So I love you guys. And I think it's important. Say it to anybody. Don't say it to everybody, but I think it's an important part of life, is just tell people you appreciate them, and tell them often. Yeah, definitely. No, man, love you too, dude. And honestly, this was good. I appreciate you making some time with us. And thank you to the viewers. Thank you for having me. And hopefully I get invited back.
Oh, you'll be back.
Yeah.
You'll be back.
Good.
Well, until next time, we'll see y'all soon.